Hey fellas, what's going on? So look, man, I recorded this video already. I recorded it already. It came out a little choppy, but for some reason when I muted my microphone, it muted the audio in the video. So every time that I would mute the microphone so I could play the animation in the background so y'all could see, because this is a reaction video, it muted the audio from the actual video. So I'm just like, man, I can't post this because y'all not gonna understand what's going on. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in front of the original video. I'm gonna react to it again, and I'll try to have the same level of input and remember everything I said in the first one. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it. But this is a good one, y'all. This is a good one. So let's see. All right, so we jumping into it, guys. We jumping into it. All right. Right now, our hero is in the woods meditating, and I believe he's having a vision back to when he was back home. He's some type of prince or pharaoh or something like that. But yeah, I can only record 10 minutes of this reaction. For some reason, the app is set up like that, so I'm gonna try to keep it brief. So as you can see, he's meditating, and he notices whatever this entity is interrupting his meditation.
Now, Siddhartha, come with me.
And that's exactly how it is, fellas. When you minding your business, when you focus and locked in, the universe, the God, is going to send tests your way. And this is his test. He minding his business. This is how it works. When you lock in, you ain't worried about females. Every man knows that's when the most females come. When you're in a relationship, that's when a lot of females and opportunities come your way. It's crazy how it works.
The pleasures of the flesh will only bring about pain and suffering. True happiness does not and never will exist in such pleasures. The devil, you are the daughters of Mara. And yet there must be the light of angels within each one of you. You have merely forgotten this, and so you are filled with greed and driven to do evil. That is why you must suffer in hell. If you wish to be beautiful like an angel, make your heart and mind beautiful.
Look how they disperse. And when he called them out, just peep exactly how they went from being beautiful to these demon-looking, ugly creatures. Like, once their playbook was exposed, he really seen them for who they truly was. And he let them know, like, okay, that's cool, but your inside has to be as beautiful as your outside, and I see right through you. And he let them know they still had that light within them. They just were lost. They didn't know where to find it, which is why they were in hell, which is a state of mind. It's not necessarily a place you go to, but it can be. You could be in hell on earth. You could be in chaos.
I was very impressed. You have become quite enlightened. But young Siddhartha, in your relentless pursuit of enlightenment, you have forgotten something very important that will affect your quest. You have neglected a basic principle of being human. You have abandoned your father. Am I wrong?
Unacceptable. Absolutely not. Who will rule this country while you run off to become
Alright, so
especially in these times of war? I'll shock you.
Alright, so Pete, going back to the original point, and we'll get to that ending in a second. He first off, he had that poker face. Soon as they pulled up, he opened his eyes. He wasn't giddy. Oh my gosh. He wasn't. Nah, he was calm. He was poised. All right, who is this being in front of me? Are you who I'm looking for. Straight to business. Not no, who are you? Are you who I'm looking for? If not, I don't have no business with you. And then this entity proceeds to try to get his attention, doing all their tricks and minding, using that feminine allure, that feminine essence to pull him away from his meditative state, which was focus, which was being locked in, which was his mission. And when he called them out and said, yo, I see you, again, that's when they showed their ugly faces and you seen them for what they really were. Because internally, the spirit was not beautiful. They were just displaying that on the outside. So their energy was a lower root energy. You know what I'm saying? A lower chakra energy. Whereas he's operating from like a 0 point energy where he's neither low nor high. He's in a state of kind of trying to reach his highest level of enlightenment, where he's in a meditative state. You know what I'm saying? So he's uplifting his vibration, and he was able to see through the trickery, which ultimately did him a favor, because as you've seen, those entities that came did not have his best intentions at heart. You feel me? They had an agenda, right? And that's how you got to look at it whenever you're dealing with a female or anything trying to take you off your purpose. You should look at that like you should be offended by that. Like, yo, I'm on a mission and you're trying to remove me from my mission, and they might not even know they're doing it, but that's how you should feel. So you shouldn't allow them to distract you, because at the end of the day, you're only hurting yourself. You feel me? They're going to siphon your energy and go about their business. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking to change. They just trying to hold you back with them. And sometimes they might not even realize that. So I think that was important to look at. And I was going to pause it throughout the video, but for whatever reason, it was messing up on the screen. Like I told you, this is the second time recording this, so I didn't want to touch anything and mess it up and have to start over. But yeah, and then he let them know, like, hey, if you truly want to be beautiful, you gotta master that inside and that mentality. He told them they were in a state of hell, meaning like that light. He said that light is within you, but y'all basically so lost, y'all so pulled from that light that you can't even really fathom the idea of not living in the state of hell which you're living in. And he meant that in a literal sense because they were demons, but it also needs to be interpreted in a metaphorical sense as well, because you can be on earth living in a state of hell. It's not just a place you go when you die and you've done wrong, I'm sending you to hell, which is not real. It's really a state of mind, a state of being. Like I said, you could be in hell on earth, and you could be in a state of chaos. You can't sleep. You constantly stress. You constantly, you know what I'm saying, just all over the place. You can't achieve none of your goals. You're stagnant in life. You're in a state of hell. You constantly distracted. People could say something to you. You easily trigger. You're in a state of hell with stuff like that. You're unwell. You're unhealthy. You are in a state of hell. You get what I'm saying? So I think all of that is useful, and I think this is very powerful. If you want to check this video out, it is called, and I should have said this earlier, I seen it on Instagram, and that's what brought me to it. It's called The Laws of the Sun. It's on YouTube. So it's a movie. You could check it out. I think it's more of a biblical, religious type of movie. But like I said, a lot of Jews in that. A lot of Jews. And to get to the last point, basically what happens is he meets that being, that man. And I know as he was talking, I was trying to talk over him. But he meets that being. And the reason I was talking over him is because he wasn't the God being he was looking for. This was the female again. She just took a different form, or the demon entity again. It just took a different form. And at first, the main character thought, hey, this is the Yashubra, or whoever the enlightened being he was waiting for. So he's like, are you? And he thought that was the actual dude. But as he continued to talk to him, things started feeling off. He started saying things, the entity, that just wasn't registering with the main character. And the entity tried to pull at his emotions. So he was saying things that he did in the past previously to try to inflict, like, make him feel these old emotions and pull him out of that state of enlightenment. And the man who was our main character, who was meditating, caught on quick and was like, no, you're not the enlightened one, you're the devil. And he's like, no, like me, come on. And he's like, he doubled down. He like, no, you are the devil. And he just pierced at him with his eyes, like you're not fooling me. And then the being finally was like, it laughed and was like, oh, you got me. Okay. And then it, did its thing, disappeared. And by the third time, finally, the enlightened one, the being he was waiting for, the main character. Alright, guys, my fault. The screen recording app only lets me record up to 10 minutes when I'm reacting to a video, so it cut me out on that last part. But basically, I was saying a beam of light was coming. It came down and it came from his head, and it kind of merged as one. And that light was the enlightened one. And that's when he knew for a fact he reached a state of enlightenment. He had achieved the highest state of enlightenment. And he got up and was like, all right, now I have to go back and help everyone. I got to tell everyone. He was basically saying, yo, he was now living in the real world now. He was operating in the real world where he could see through the veils. And he wanted to bring everybody else to this state. And that's pretty much what all of us men on the semen retention journey are trying to do. We're trying to reach the state he was in, which is the highest level of ourselves, where it's like lust does not have any type of control over us. You get what I'm saying? And to be fair, that feeling will always be there. But it's not that you don't feel it. It's that you understand it and you transmute it, and you basically don't be controlled by it. You get what I'm saying? And you operate from a state of awareness, because like I said, once you're aware, it's no longer I slipped up and it was impulsive, I didn't mean to. Once you're aware, now it's a choice, and you're making a choice, because you're like, all right, I know what's going on here, but I'm going to ignore my better judgment and allow myself to be taken aback by the flesh. You get what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, there are going to be times where you lose that battle. You get what I'm saying? That's all a part of the journey. The what's imperative is that you jump back on that horse. But I'm gonna be honest, it's almost like, I'm not trying to be racist, dudes. So if you white, forgive me. But if you are white and you taste your family cooking, and then you go to the black side of a cookout, whatever it is, and you taste some, and assuming these black folk know how to cook, which most black folk do, and you taste some seasoning for the first time, ain't no way you're gonna go back to your mom bland ass cooking, and be satisfied. You're gonna be like, what the heck? What? You're gonna be like, this what I was missing my whole life? You're gonna be hooked on that seasoned food, because you're gonna be like, that shit was, I didn't know, I had no idea food could taste this good. You feel me? I see why America got the biggest obesity epidemic, because goddamn, you want to eat like that all the time now. It's literally the same with the state of enlightenment that the dude was in. Once he reached that state of light, that seasoning, ain't no way he could go back to being bland. And it's the same thing with you guys. Once you reach a certain state in your journey, the semen retention journey, and you feel focused, locked in, you're sharp, you feel charismatic, you feel full, you feel like yourself now, because you allowed your testosterone to build up, you allowed your sack to be full. Now, if you ever backtrack, you're gonna feel like shit, because you know what that feeling of being up here feels like. And when you allow yourself to succumb to the lust, it knocks you down a peg. And you like, damn, now you're looking back up like, yo, I was just up there, now I'm down here, and you want to get back up there. So I hope that was helpful for y'all, man. If this was, make sure you like, you comment. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want more reactions like this, hey, comment down below. Just comment. I'll make more. And until next time, peace.